Eric Holder is losing it. People shocked while he was giving a speech by Al Waisman for DailyVine.com. This was a truly unprecedented move by an ex-attorney general to President Barack Obama. Eric Holder took a trip to Milwaukee Thursday evening to implore left-wing activists to turn out the vote for state Supreme Court candidate Rebecca Dallet. This was so that she can be the potential winning voice in a struggle against what he deemed as a new elections map that would greatly favor Republicans. But at the same time, Republicans have stepped up their ground game against Dallet. They readily questioned her ability to hear certain kinds of cases, while at the same time criticizing her for having a fundraiser in the fledgling city that is San Francisco, even though the city is thousands of miles away. The winner of this race will replace Justice Michael Gableman, who is not seeking a second term. Gableman is part of the court's 5-2 conservative majority. None of this pairs in comparison to what Holder actually said and did while he was speaking. It caught some people off guard, and many others considered it to be a potentially violent threat. He began talking about knives and weapons, and it became very awkward for some people who were listening, but were also clenching their fists in the event that Holder had some sort of meltdown and actually attacked someone. While his words were many and his fists were few, it was still gut-wrenching to hear a grown man talk about physically fighting, and it should cause some level of worry in his supporters. Is this a sign that Holder is fighting to hold on to relevancy? Holder's exact comments were as follows: "We have to be ready to, not do anything inappropriate, not do anything improper, certainly not do anything unlawful," he said, "but to the extent that they want to have a fight, let's do it. You want to rumble? Let's rumble. You want to have a knife fight? We're going to do it." Which has a nostalgic ring considering what then candidate Barack Obama said in 2008 during a campaign stop in Philadelphia. "If they bring a knife to a fight, we bring a gun, because from what I understand, folks in Philly like a good brawl. I've seen Eagles fans." Interesting choice of words when considering the times we are living in, and after the incident that left Congressman Scalise gravely injured. Don't you agree? Since leaving office, Holder has become quite the political activist. He heads the National Democratic Redistricting Committee, which is spending $140,000 on digital ads on social media supporting Dallet. He warned his group will be monitoring the race over the next 2 weeks and said it was a distinct possibility that it would be spending more in support of Dallet. Last month, Holder's group sued GOP Governor Scott Walker in order to make him hold elections for 2 vacant seats in the state legislature. Holder attacked Walker for keeping the seats vacant while also calling for a special legislative session on school safety. That's how he speaks, and he's talking about school safety. He added that Walker considers himself a conservative, but is more like a regressive, and that he does whatever he can to maintain power by actively surrounding himself with people who share the same views. More on Dallet's run via Jay Sonline. Heading to the fall elections, Holder said Democrats need to be more disciplined and focused to match Republicans. You just have no message except this garbage that you're spewing. We have to be ready to, not do, okay, we heard that. Jay McDavis, a former Republican state senator and former Waukesha County judge, questioned Dallet's ability to hear an array of cases, including ones brought by Holder's group and those involving firearms. Dallet, in turn, has said Greenock should not be able to hear cases involving the state's largest business lobbying groups, Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce, because it has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars backing him. Davis said that by drawing a firm line about when judges must step aside in cases, Dalit was setting a higher bar for herself and opening herself up to criticism for being hypocritical. If you're going to pose for holy pictures, you've got to expect people to pick at you, said Davis, who is backing Screenok. Okay, meanwhile, Screenok's campaign consultant, Sean Lansing, criticized Dalit for holding a fundraiser in San Francisco next week by Democrats in the California legislature. In today's example of Judge Dalit saying one thing and doing another, campaigns on Wisconsin's values go to San Francisco less than 3 weeks before the election to raise dollars for her campaign. Double talk Dalit, Lansing wrote in a post on Twitter. Dalit is also getting help from Democrat U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin, whose operation is conducting 64 door knocking and phone banking events in 38 counties this weekend to turn out voters for Dalit and Baldwin. It's a dry run for Baldwin's get out the vote efforts for her full re-election bid. Dalit did not appear at Holder's Milwaukee stop and was not planning on attending one he has slated for Friday in Madison. Well, after probably she heard what he was saying. The lawsuit over special elections is expected to be resolved before the winner of next month's Supreme Court election is seated in August. But Holder's group could bring other litigation that could eventually make its way to the Supreme Court. Dalit has decried as too weak the state Supreme Court's ethics rule that allows judges and justices to remain on cases involving those who bankrolled efforts to elect them. She said spending by Holder's group might be so large as to force her off a case involving the group. Well, I didn't really care to hear so much about that, but you know what? Eric Holder is losing his mind because they're desperate now. Because, listen, unless they cheat, they know they're not going to win anything. So now he's trying to rile up as many people as possible, but, you know, considering the times that we live in, yeah, I mean, I would sort of like question what he's talking about at this point, because it's not the kind of comments that you want to listen to. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.